Yes, guys, welcome to another show of Your Chat MMA. Thank you for joining me, guys, and shout out to everyone that given this podcast and Your Chat MMA a lot of views watching our video. Thank you very much, guys. Let's get into this video, guys. Check this out now. I'm not going to be long, guys. We have some beef going on with Francis Ngannou and Dana White, the UFC president, guys. What you guys think? I'm just going to share my thoughts, man, and it's crazy, guys, how these two individuals going back and forth in social media exchanging words, and Francis says racism and Dana White said Francis yoke him up or choke him. People, I don't understand. If Francis grab you, Francis is like 6'5", 265 or 70 pounds. Come on, people. I don't think no. I'm not saying both party are not being honest, but there's a lot of things that missing in between details, guys. Thanks for joining us. Press like, share, and let's get into this video, guys. So my thought is this, guys. Let's get a little background on this because a lot of things been said in the media between these individuals, and we just want to get it straightened out. So let me just get some information here, man. Let me just get some information behind the scene here. That because Dana White saying that we don't know Francis behind the scene. He's not a good individual to deal when it comes to business. Um, Listen, to lose a fighter like Francis, was a big draw. The heavyweight right now would have been. Me personally, I think if Francis was still in UFC, he would have been still the UFC champion. I think it would have been a fight between John Jones and Francis, and I think the fight with Ngannou and Tom Aspinall would have went down. I think Francis would have knocked out Tom Aspinall. People, I'm just keeping it real. And I think the next big fight would have been for John Jones, fighting Francis. Because when John Jones decided to move up to heavyweight, don't forget Francis will have some issue with the UFC, and Francis, contract, he was a free agent and decided to leave the UFC and pursue other option, the PFL. And Dana White saying that people don't know Francis behind closed doors, you know he speak English very well. Don't let him fool you. Blah 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 blah. Listen, man. I know working for the UFC is not say peaches and cream. With Francis and UFC with Dana White, especially Francis was exposing a lot of things behind his contract UFC, how things go, how a lot of things is not given to the fighters. He also wanted like health coverage and things like that, benefits, insurance for the fighters. There was a lot of things that were discussed, and Francis, didn't like how he said he was being talked to and being treated by UFC Dana White, and he said Dana White being very disrespectful. Man, listen, man. I know how Dana White get down, and Dana White sometimes could be very arrogant and say certain things and not really say to be cruel behind it, but say things sometimes without even thinking, and it come out wrong, and people take it that way, and he be having some issues. But away from that, I a lot, we have all the commentators on UFC, speaking about Francis. I just seen a video with Chael Sonnen saying Francis is run out of option, blah blah blah. Listen, man. Um, me. I would love to see France come back to UFC. I think that would change a lot of things in heavyweight. A lot of things would be different in heavyweight if Francis, if they. But I don't think that relationship right there is bad. Dana White won a record saying no, Francis not coming. We seen that, guys. But I think there is some personal issue between these two individuals. Let me to share my take on this. I believe Francis is a person that who is not easy to be. You cannot intimidate Francis, and he's the type of person he determined when he wants something, he pursue it, he will get it. And we all saw his story. His growing up and difficulty. We all know his story, guys. And I'm still a Francis Ngannou fan, but I just think Dana White should put his difference aside, his personal view on people when it come down to fighting, and you just let them fight in UFC. That's their job, to fight. Long as their personal don't get in, entwined with business. And I just think Dana White, I just think Dana White allow his personal view on Francis to get in business. I think Francis would be a very good access to the heavyweight right now, especially what's going on in UFC, guy. This is just my thoughts, my opinion, guys. This platform, even though it's a MMA, it's a very different. It's just a different twist on it. I don't follow the trend with all the Michael Bisme and the DC and the Chael and all these other guys follow the same trend. I just take my spin. I just think that Francis, and Dana have some personal issue that they need to settle and squash, but business need to go on. I would love to see Francis come back in UFC, guys. I would love to see that, but what do you guys think? Do you think Francis should allow to come back to UFC? Because UFC heavyweight is a mess right now, and we seen it with Tom Aspinall now. They talk about Alice Pereira versus Cyril Gong now. Cosmic Jemai. I don't know, guys. It's just a mess in the UFC right now. I'm just. Am I surprised? No, because that's the fighting business. People, it's a dog eat dog world. It's a cutthroat business, man. It is what it is. Keep it real, guys. The fighters that make a lot of money is the fighters like the John Jones, the Conor McGregor, the DC, the people who put themselves out there, and don't forget, people, these fighters are putting themselves in jeopardy every time they go in the octagon, man, and I just believe money should be well compensated for that. Leave your comment, make sure you press like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. All right.